This is Unknown and Uncloned on the Undetermined Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Unknown and Uncloned, where we dissect the arts, one pop culture craze at a time. I'm your host, Rich, here with my co-host,
Julian Wilson, and our other co-host,
Lou Christie.
Yeah.
All right. And today, we're going to delve into the realm of sci-fi yet again. Or maybe it isn't. That's for you to decide. We're talking about Extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
E.T. phone home right now, okay? Or phone somewhere out in space, okay?
Exactly. And we know that this is the kind of thing it's been an endless influence in pop culture. It's appeared in numerous TV shows, of course, movies.
Of course.
I have this list on CNET of the top 25 greatest alien encounter movies, ranked, in terms of score and success. And I'm just going to go through a few of them. Have you guys seen Arrival?
I've been wanting to see that.
Lewis?
Nah, I've heard of it. I just forgot. I just forgot that movie existed, honestly.
So did I, until the award shows when they're like, oh, La La Land, Arrival, Manchester by the Sea, etc. And I was like, oh, Arrival, but it looks cool. It looks cool. Definitely gonna see that.
You should. Ever seen the classic Starship Troopers?
No. Nope.
Heard of it, haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's a military satire featuring large insectoid aliens called arachnids.
Oh,
whoa.
Gosh.
Sounds epic. Sounds really epic.
I recently saw Spaceballs, and that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a good movie.
I don't think that counts.
I still have to.
It's in... Well...
Well...
No, you're right. But it was still a funny movie.
It is.
Yeah. And of course, come on, we all know Men in Black.
Oh,
Classic story about the encounters with aliens and actually living in a world that has a system that deals with aliens. Oh my goodness. Would you want that job, Julian?
Nah.
Listen, I'd probably get abducted or something. I first night on the job. All right, guys, I'm ready to. Well, I wouldn't sound like that. All right, guys, I'm ready to go on this mission. All right, cool. So, and then that same night, I would just see a really bright light, and then I'd probably get abducted. That's one of the extraterrestrial stereotypes, I guess you could say. UFOs. Unidentified-flying objects.
Exactly. Which I've seen many videos about the sightings of UFOs and of course in documentaries. And some of these things have happened where people don't get a clear explanation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All the time.
Sightings where there'll be a bunch of people who crowd around and they'll get real footage, not altered, from home cameras, and it'll be some sort of light hovering, something in the distance in the sky, and there'll always be different theories it was a military test, or
it was a blimp, or it was a hot air balloon, but the most prominent one that I can see is orbs.
Yeah, those.
In a certain formation, whether it's a triangle or whether it's some type of weird, and they sometimes move, they're sometimes stationary, but either way they dissipate and fade away from the sky after some time. Mm-hmm. And then that's when people will be going out with their phones oh my gosh, look, what is that? Because it's out of the ordinary. That doesn't happen every day.
Been a lot of stories revolving around, aliens seeing spaceships in the sky, or certain noises.
Yes.
Of course, abductions.
Yeah.
There's been many stories. I've yet to, find one that's actually believable, because it's all based on, their experience.
Yeah.
So it's hard to go off, people's experiences.
Yeah, unless you experience it yourself.
Yes, then you can say, but even then, people then won't believe you.
That's true because, like, I mean, this is probably even going to have to be like a multiple part episode because this is a very vast area of exploration, like, and just like wonderment. Everyone is in awe at it, but they don't know that we don't know what it is. That's why it's like unidentified. Like all these experiences, they're all kind of like accumulated and like either like thrown under the rug, or we hear about it being covered up for some reason.
Exactly. And another one of the ultimate questions that's on people's minds: will they be friendly, like in E.T., or will they be unfriendly, like in movies like Prometheus?
I didn't see that. There's so many movies I have to see.
Exactly. I mean, I just have no idea, man.
It's one of those concepts. I'm sure you guys have heard the arguments. Oh, there can't be life other than us, or like we're the only like beings and stuff. But like, there could be another different race altogether that could be thinking the same thing about us, that they're the only ones.
That's the thing.
Space is so...
It's vast. It's pretty much infinite. Like,
it really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Millions of just there's a lot. And there's so much that we don't know. And we keep discovering, new NASA studies shows this. New planet inhabitable, not too cold, not too warm, and not that far away. So if we had to go somewhere... And then you have the thing with Mars, with the different rock shapes and like, what was it? Kind of like finding water and like all of these things and like, things that appear to look like or resemble people, and that's very intriguing. And it's really, and there's a lot of creep things. There was this one NASA video. It was public, that. It showed like this object near the sun, and it was like a black object, but it had like it looked like it had a cord attached to the sun, and it was like draining energy from it. And this was coming like straight from the feed itself, so it wasn't like fake or anything. It was like a real thing. But then it's like the feed is kind of dark anyway, so it's like how you can't figure out what that is anyway. It's not like you can like go in with a since it was a feed too, it's not like you were seeing it from like a telescope or something and you can zoom in or whatever. It's just, it's just crazy. Endless.
It is very endless, man. It is very endless. But nonetheless, this idea has shaped our culture. It's shaped the definition of sci-fi, really. I mean,
I agree, yeah.
When a lot of people think sci-fi, their minds will go to aliens,
Yeah.
It's like aliens or the future or technology, but like that's how prominent it's been because it's been that essential of a question for humans.
Space movies like Gravity, which is fantastic. I suggest that movie to anybody. It's a really good movie. Gravity, or like that new movie, quick plug, Life, starring Ryan Reynolds. That one looks crazy. Do you guys see the trailer for that?
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
That looks crazy. Or like the Alien movies, like Alien Covenant or Alien.
The new Alien movie. I'm like,
I
was wondering.
Got you, boy.
I know they want to make the remake of like the Alien movies.
Classics.
Yeah,
but it's like some things you just gotta just not say die, but just let it
be.
Yeah, let it be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because humans, I don't know if humans have an exact perception of how aliens are supposed to be. Because a lot of, the typical skinny, lanky body. Yeah. Probably like 3 fingers.
Big head, green.
Like black, non-pupilled eyes, And
we don't even know what they look like. Like exactly. I said, we already give stereotypes to everything and labels, and like the extraterrestrials are no exception.
Actually, Area 51.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they have an alien at Area 51. If anybody were to get closer there, they'll send everything to make sure you don't get near that. Because apparently that place is top secret.
And then there's also Area 52, I believe.
No, I think it's just Area 51.
I remember hearing about Area 52, not as like a I just remember hearing them. Maybe I'll have to research that later. But yeah, probably. I think Area 51. I mean, despite everything else, that place has seen its history, man. That place has had history. A lot of cover-ups there. I'm not saying nothing, but a lot of like mystery.
Yeah. And speaking of those alien movies, I have this short list of songs that are specifically about extraterrestrials. There's this one song from Alien 4 by Hawkwind. There's another one called Shades of Grey by Stuart Davis. And another one made for the film Purple People Eater, song called Purple People Eater by Sheb Woolley.
Nice.
And it's funny how these ideas will literally influence every form of art. I mean, that's the purpose of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like movies, music, and of course the poetry, which I do want to get to.
Right.
But I also want to ask, have you guys ever had any extraterrestrial-like encounters? I haven't.
Nah, not me neither.
Julian, you seem a little pensive over there.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I can't really. I mean, not directly, no. Relatives, yes.
Oh.
But not me.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. I know a couple people who claim to have, like, seen things that there are no explanation for. Now, I don't know if science can have an explanation for every single instance where this kind of thing happens. I mean, at some point, I think we should consider the possibility.
Absolutely.
Because, like, just think about it. Just the distance from the Earth to the moon is so ridiculously vast. And that's just, compared to our galaxy alone, that's a very small distance.
Yeah.
Like, on an actual map of space, Earth, moon, it's like, please. And, like, think about how difficult it is for us to even get there. It's not like there are shuttles going to the moon every other weekend.
Yeah.
Like. Now, there's that distance multiplied by, I don't even know how much. And that's how big.
Quintillion and quadrillion, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like multiply that distance by like 50 million, and that's probably not even the end of our galaxy.
50 quintillion million gajillion, okay? Because that's what there's actually since you're talking about the distance between the Earth and the Moon, it's actually I forgot what the camera model is. It might be a Nikon, I don't know. But there's a camera that can actually, and I have this video on my my wall on Facebook.
Yes, I've seen that.
Did you see it, Reg? It zooms. It can zoom into the moon. Like, if the moon, obviously, like, it just appears like a sphere, so like you can tell what it is. But like, you zoom in with the camera, it can zoom in all the way to the surface of it, where you can like actually, you know how like a high detailed picture of the moon would appear on Google.
Yeah.
That.
Whoa.
Like, this would be like the closest it can get. So like, and that is like that's crazy close. So like, if that's true, then maybe we'd be able to like zoom in to like to see like, oh, what closer to what like Venus looks like with like that camera like that, or like, you know, Mars or something, since those are like the two other closest things that we even know that are there.
Yeah, that's the thing. And there's a lot of things we don't even know. I mean, like, the distance is too great. I mean, you can't tell me, like, nobody can tell me for certain that in all the regions of space that we haven't even gone to yet, there's no life. Like, you can't say that.
And humans, well, even humans have only existed as a race for so, it hasn't even, in this grand scheme of recorded history of time and space, we've only been here I'm getting this from Cosmos, Neil deGrasse Tyson's special. We kind of came into existence on the last calendar year, the last day of the last month of the calendar year, which is like every day is like I don't know how many years, and all the 12 months are there. But on December 31st, like almost at midnight, that's when we finally came into existence.
Wait, hold on a second. So.
And if you want to figure out if you want to see what I'm talking about, that's on the first episode of Cosmos.
Okay.
That's like it's amazing. But like that, something like that, I'm like, if we've only been around for like only like calculated time and space hours in the calendar year of like what it would really, be for like just the whole grand scheme, we have no right to say that we're the only ones that have. Come on.
Yeah, man.
And there are so many other planets that are so much larger than Earth, too.
Yeah.
So much larger.
Jupiter? Come on.
Even in these planets that are even way bigger than Jupiter. And you can't even, like, wrap your head around it. It's like, how...
Exactly.
Like,
there are literally planets that can fit multiple Earths. Like, how do you... As a human, that's incredibly difficult to even fathom. I mean, if you really try to think about it. I mean, like... My neighborhood is big enough. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like most people so people like have a hard time like trying to like see every place of Earth in their lifetime. So how?
That's the thing, man.
People are already gearing up to go to this Mars pioneer trip for this civilization project thing, and I'm like, I mean good, but also like It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be like They've been prepping for that for a while, but still, it's just crazy.
There's just so many planets, so many galaxies. You can't say we're the only ones, like you said. Like you can't. Yeah. We're the only intelligent life form. Like, can you really say that? There's so many out there we don't even know. There's these so-called aliens. They could be watching us. Right now.
Oh, definitely. They're probably definitely hiding in a cloud or something like right above here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can.
Oh goodness.
they want in on the conversation, and all you said, you hear like a.
I think I remember this one video that it was a strange loud noise that been like echoed throughout like certain parts of the world that was very abnormal. It was loud enough for like a lot of people to hear. It didn't sound like it came from like a factory or anything. It sounded like a really weird sound.
Wait, this was what?
No, it was a video on Facebook I saw a long time ago that on certain parts of the world there was this strange loud noise. It was an abnormal sound that that could be here on certain parts of the world, and it didn't sound natural or normal. So, some may say that could have been like a thing with aliens. That's a video.
Right.
I can't tell anybody the name of the video or anything because that was something that was on the Facebook a long time ago that I saw and I remembered it. So, we don't know the existence of aliens. They've probably been here. Who knows? They may have been walking among us.
I think that too. Because as another thing, we're probably not the most advanced either.
No.
Because if you think about it, like you said, the space is vast. Like, how do you... What we are just getting to, another part of the galaxy may already be like 100 times farther than we are.
Mm-hmm.
But then the opposite, another civilization somewhere may be like more primitive.
Yeah.
But like,
true, yeah.
Like you just don't know, and like it's crazy. I think we only know so much that we can take, before we like start like trying to take control of it too. Because that's another thing. If we found out everything like some of us, I think, would try and be like controlling of the situation. Well, this needs to be contained. This thing that we now know needs to be contained so it doesn't cause or stir panic. And, you know, that's an issue with a lot of things on this planet alone. So I can only imagine, like.
But speaking of alien contact, I found this one poem on Poetry Foundation, and it's called Gigantic Mountains. And it's about this very concept. It's by Brandon Scott Gorel. When aliens come to Earth, they will land on top of gigantic mountains. They will see the people everywhere. Each alien will communicate telepathically with another alien on the opposite side of the sphere. That is its clone and itself at the same time. Like an atom in quantum physics, the same alien in two places at once. And this multiplied by millions on top of gigantic mountains. The strategy is to destroy humans, each alien will tell itself, and its clone. Humans will understand this strategy once the killing started, immediately happening in two places on opposite ends of the world at once. An alien and itself murdering two humans by looking at their faces, then that happening repeatedly or something for some amount of time. The humans falling over and their faces hitting the pavement, or the carpet, or the grass, or the side of a coffee table. There will be resistance. Soldiers on all parts of the earth will fight with lasers, and citizen militias will hold resistance meetings, a resistance against death, a no-death resistance, a movement for death later, a movement for a different, still uncontrollable death. Humans don't want to die this way, will be their manifesto. One sheet of paper, or a piece of cardboard or something. There will be humans in basements looking at each other, wandering, solitary humans that want more to find another human than to avoid dying. Solitary, severely depressed, or enlightened humans that commit suicide by seeking out alien faces and looking at them. These humans may feel happy inside an insane, nervous breakdown. Humans that kill other humans because they feel insane. Humans that sit in a corner, feeling extremely small, maybe considering killing rampages, some indefinable position, positive emotion for humanity. Humans that watch TV, use the internet to read the newspaper and drive their cars around, they will be motionless on couches with their eyes open. The fish and insects and trees will have the ocean and the forest. Pretty sure they won't care. Yeah.
Well, yo, that last line.
I know, right?
That kind of reminds me of
What's up?
what was it? The apocalypse episode we had.
Oh yeah.
With the visuals of the animals in these post-apocalyptic environments, but yet they're at peace because now they've like kind of like reclaimed themselves in the chaos. You know, like
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
we saw these like paintings and stuff of these animals, and like, you know, there's like, it's almost like it looks like a war-torn land. There's destruction and ruins everywhere, but yet they're just living. They're not causing confrontation or anything. They just are. Mm-hmm. They exist without any like interference, and it's like it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, like the term coexist is like tainted, you know. Something in terms of it's not hard. It's just like, but then there's that like I said, there's that drive to control and like put a handle on everything, and it's like it's some things you just better just to let them be.
Yeah,
we're visitors to this planet, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not our planet.
It's not that no single person owns the earth. Nobody does. The earth is its own, and we're just here. Exactly. But unfortunately, there's always a desire by humans to control or to manipulate, and it's just it's never ending, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's part of, or at least it's linked to, this drive for knowledge and discovery that we have. I mean, we all want to know what's out there. And some of us who find out, they may want to be a part of it, they may want to avoid it, they may want to control it. But
yeah,
that's a whole other thing, man. It's a whole other thing, man. My goodness.
Takes more effort to control something than to just let it be. I don't understand why. But then again, power thrives on power, you know? So like there's that constant fuel, and it doesn't really seem to burn out per se.
Yeah.
Because then there's always like, there's a replacement here, or there's a substitute here, or there's a, like, we have all these positions of power, and it definitely doesn't like help the situation. I just wish there was more, like, just a little bit more regulation, you know?
Exactly.
Or non-regulation, the way you perceive it.
I mean, yeah, you know, it depends on the circumstance.
Yeah, it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah. And, you know, another thing I wanted to get to, I actually want to go over this in our part 2 of the episode, but I found, as opposed to regular art, I actually went and found ancient cave paintings of what some scientists may believe were aliens, you know. Now, these paintings have been found in places all across the world, India, Africa, from thousands of years ago. And at some point, I want us to go through some of them. So we can be like, oh, no, that's just a freaking tree. Or like, this is, oh, wait, no, that's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there has been this idea, and it's been explored in documentary series like Ancient Aliens. There's this idea that maybe humans have come into contact with aliens much, much earlier than we anticipated. Maybe they came by and maybe they left something, you know? Like there are some theories out there that humans accelerated evolution and thus essentially created us. Who knows? But
yeah,
man. That's the thing. You can't really fake interpretation of an alien like way back then. I mean, in a culture that just has emerging forms of art, you know, I feel like they'd be genuine in terms of like what they see.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't try to, I suppose, fake something, you know, as an attempt to mislead others. It's just like, as early humans, they documented a lot of things. Yeah. And if aliens were here, there's a chance you can find evidence of that documentation.
There's also, it's kind of like that, but it's also like that game when you have a story and then you tell the person next to you, and then that story gets slightly altered as it goes down. Yeah, so it could be the same thing with paintings and carvings. Maybe, I mean, I know what you're saying, and I agree with that, but we also don't know that for sure. They could be like maybe interpretations of other pictures, which were interpretations of other like images that people saw. But paintings came first, I think, before language did, right? Like carvings and stuff.
Like hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics, yeah.
Yeah, like in Egypt, they show, I think some hieroglyphics show that it has like a thing coming from the sky. It looks like a spaceship, almost like
a saucer or like an
snap. Some people may say that Egyptians may have got help with the pyramids because
I've heard that,
because of aliens.
Yeah. Yeah, because of how distinct and like
how
symmetrical and everything was.
How
like,
almost perfect it was.
Yes, and perfectly aligned with Orion's belt in the space.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in an episode of Ancient Aliens. Yes, I watch it sometimes, but
I might have to watch that.
They were doing some research, and some pyramids were like exactly under, like to a very fine degree of mathematical precision, were like positioned under certain stars. And it's just like, how do you, like, that would be difficult now.
That is, yes, even with all the technology we have. It's almost like things were much easier to construct back then.
But then again, I did hear a counter argument, and it went something like, well, just because we don't know how they did something doesn't mean we should discredit them.
I know that, but like,
yeah,
but like,
I know it's
there's still the question as to how.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny how we resort to they must have been assisted by extraterrestrials rather than try and figure out a way that they could have manually did it.
Yeah,
but they could have had knowledge of the star. They had to have knowledge of the stars. They had knowledge of But how do they get that knowledge? How do they construct that? Like what? I agree with you. We can't discredit them, but we also like it's just one of those things. Like I said, the more I personally look at history, the more it intrigues me because it's like, wow, like there's a lot of things, but we know more about space than our oceans. So
I know apparently,
which is gonna be a topic for another episode.
Yep, that's right. The deep ocean.
Freaking Loch Ness monsters and now, okay.
I know, right?
You don't even know.
I know.
You don't know.
But you know what? That settles it for part 1 of this discussion.
Oh, yeah.
And trust me, there's a lot more ground to be covered.
Because it's a very vast subject. And you can go into it for hours, but, that's why we got to break it up. It's a very, sometimes it's hard to fathom how much information it is. It's sometimes
man.
It's hard to wrap your head around
through
it.
people's stories, through stuff you see in the sky, Area 51. Who knows? Ships may be in the ocean somewhere. That who
true.
Who think
we still don't know what happened to Atlantis, right? You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. People want to wrap their heads around all of this like Saturn's rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I said that one.
Damn.
As Rich ignores me, he's like, no comment on that. Oh man, but I had to have at least one pun in there. But
no, sorry, I was drifting off.
You were drifting off because you tried to drift away from my joke. You're like, you're like extraterrestrials, take me away. This is the time, okay?
Nah.
Oh, we just rhymed too.
Oh wow!
And you weren't even trying to.
Good job.
You said two twice.
I know.
Freaking two skip to my loo, send you flying to Timbuktu.
I think that's a sign that we're drifting off of the more serious subject matter. But I want to really thank all of you listeners for tuning in to Unknown and Uncloned.
Yes.
If you want to find our other content, all you need to do is visit our Instagram and Twitter pages at UAU Podcast.
Or you can find us on Facebook at UAU TUDPN and listen to full episodes of Unknown and Uncloned on YouTube at the Undetermined Network plus other undetermined content.
That's right. So once again, thank you guys. I have been your host, Rich, along with my co-hosts,
Julian Wilson and
Lou Christie.
Peace.